Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you're looking for something that can really handle those heavy e-bikes and you're looking for something that's going to be really easy to load and unload on your 2020 Hyundai Palisade, then the Yakima OnRamp LX Bike Rack is going to be a great choice for you. So let's check it out. The reason why I say this is great for if you have heavy e-bikes is going to be because of the capacity. This is going to be able to handle bikes up to 80 pounds per tray, so you can be able to handle two 80-pound bikes on here. And that's really not going to affect its tilt-away, and that's going to be because we have a pretty rugged tilt-away feature. And the way we do that is we come over to our passenger side, and we're going to pull the supporting pin. I like to kind of pull on the rack a little bit just to shift it and make that process a bit easier. With that out of the way, I usually go on the other side to pull this pin, but I could probably get to it from here. Again, pulling on it some, letting that fall down. As you can see, that's still a fair bit away from our vehicle, which is going to be plenty of space to really open up our hatch. And the reason why you might want to open up your hatch is if you have groceries, maybe doing a little shopping, your bike's back here, or you're getting ready for your ride, you want to grab your helmet, and you also want to just maybe tie your shoes too. And when you're done with that, you can just close this up. And with that closed up, you can put this into the seated position. And all you have to do is just push on this. Now this is going to be a little bit heavy. This is actually recommended to do with two people because it is a little bit of an awkward system. But once you have that in place, I do recommend pulling that second pin and pushing that back through to secure this down. And we're going to have plenty of space in between the back of our hatch and our handlebar, and this is a bigger bike too, so in most cases you should be fine. Now if you want to take a deeper look at this rack, I'm going to have to take off the bike. So where I like to start is with our straps. We're going to have one here, we just pull on that tab, push up on here, and what I like about this design is there's going to be this little tab on the side that you can push the strap into so it won't get in your way when you're trying to take this off. Same thing for the back side too. Now we will go to the center mass after this, but if you want to make this process a bit easier, we might as well use our included ramp. And what's nice about this is it is integrated into the design of our carrier, so it'll always be in an easy area to access. Now what I don't really care for is the design of this ramp. And that is because we got to take off a couple knobs, and this is going to be in two sections. So that might not sound like too big of a hassle, but if you have to do this every time to take off your bike, it can get a little tedious. But the nice thing about this design is you can put this on from either side of your trays. So if, let's say, for example, our passenger side is blocked, like it is right now, we can come over to our driver's side and stick this under. Now just watch out for your tire, because sometimes that can be in the way. And with this down, we can move over to that center mass. That's really easy to take off. I like to hook my elbow in here, just give it some support. Make sure it doesn't fall over and hit my vehicle. And with that off, all I have to do from this point is just roll our bike off. And on the Palisade today, it really isn't too bad because our vehicle doesn't sit up too high, so it's not too bad of an incline. You want to make sure you put everything back up, so I already stored my ramp back on our carrier. And I'm also going to put the center mass down. That's just going to involve me pulling this pin and pushing it in place. And with that done, I can get a few measurements. Also probably tuck these away too, because I don't want that dangling around in the wind as I drive. But I'm going to go from our back bumper to the back of the carrier, which is going to be a little bit over 27 inches. Not too bad. It's really going to be pretty nice for those tighter spots, but definitely watch out if you're in a parking spot or garage. Now for our ground clearance, that's going to be 17.5 inches. also pretty good. That's going to be thanks to the rise in our carrier. And it is something to think about though, if you do plan on putting your heavy e-bikes on here and you don't want to deal with the hassle of removing the ramp, you just want to lift it up, that might be a bit of a lift. This will come with a tilt-away, so if you want to really maximize the amount of space you can save, you can do that. It's going to be the same process as tilting it away, only we're pushing up this time. And when you do that, make sure you put that pin back into place, but I'm going to get my measurement real quick before I do that. And not going from where these clamps are, because we can adjust that. We'll just go from the frame. That's going to be a little bit under 9 inches. So that's not going to take up really much space at all. As for how this is going to interact on the back of our car today, it's actually in a really nice spot. So if you look at how it's sitting, you'll notice it's not going to be blocking our license plates or our backup camera, which is pretty good. And our taillights and back window won't be obstructed either. The way this is going to secure is we're going to have this 2-inch shank that goes into this 2-inch hitch receiver. Then we're going to have an anti-rattle bolt that goes through and secures this in place. What's nice about an anti-rattle bolt is if I go to shake this carrier, you notice the only place it really moves is at the pivot point. So this is giving us a really secure fit today. In my opinion, I think this is a really nice rack. If you are looking for something, like I said earlier, it's going to handle those really heavy e-bikes and have that incorporated ramp into the design, just so it's easier to load and unload our bikes. Now, if you're looking for something that's going to have a very similar weight capacity and is going to have an included ramp, then I'd recommend checking out the Hollywood Rack's Destination e-Bike Rack. Be very similar to this. Going to have a little bit more options to mount it to the frame of your bike though. The only downside is it's not going to have quite as a high weight capacity as what we have right here. There's really not a whole lot of racks that have this same weight capacity, so if you really are trying to push the limits and have that included ramp in the design of this, then I think this is a great choice. And that's just a look at some of the features of the Yakima OnRamp LX bike rack on the back of our 2020 Hyundai Palisade. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.